Hi, and congratulations on completing week one, the world of the historical books. I wanted to spend a few minutes going over what the expectations were for this week and provide a quick example. Whoops, there we go. Assignment 1-1 was applying historical reflection, and it was a blog post where you were to explain how this week's reading on the context of the historical books have challenged or expanded your understanding of how to interpret the historical books. My wife is baking in the background and pounding pans, so just think about cake as you're watching this. If we look at that assignment, and that's consistent with pretty much every assignment you're going to have, by me anyway, this semester. This week I wanted engagement with the reading, and that was right in the assignment itself where it said they wanted you to interact with the reading. So I'm looking for you to use quotes, to use allusions, to use conclusions, all of which are cited from the reading, so that you can understand, or you can demonstrate to me that you understand the reading and how it applies to this week's assignment. And in this case, it was engagement with the week's readings on how the context of the historical books have challenged or expanded your understanding of how to interpret the historical books. Now, three other things that I want in every assignment you do. First, I want to see biblical support supporting and illustrating your conclusions. Second, I want to see the use of engagement with the reading and outside research. This is a graduate level course. I am expecting you to go beyond just summarizing the reading, but to find outside material that supports your conclusions. She says she's going to be quiet. She says she's not going to make any noise. And she's over there just crackling away. All right. So the use of outside research and outside reading is part of a master's program. How do I support my conclusions? And then I'm looking for personal reflections on how this topic can be applied to your life and ministry. Now, our second assignment was actually kind of a fun, creative assignment where you wanted to discuss, create a one-page handout that you could use for a Bible study or Sunday school class of young adults that concisely surveys the kinds of contextual details that exist in historiography and explains each. Each are important. All right, so here is an example of what someone put together. I wanted to see color. I wanted to have graphics. I wanted this to be something that you would publish to discuss the topic. And so here the person has put context across the top with what at least appears to be a shot from Mount Sinai. And if it's not, it looks a lot like Mount Sinai. And then in the center, it's all about the details and has several paragraphs. And it's visually appealing. And there were lots of folks who did a great job on this assignment. Here's another example talking about context. And their big points are geographical context, political context, religious context, and social context. And they have some great bullet points under that. But it also talks about original context, author's context, and my context, which I thought was outstanding. And then they have left some space for some additional discussion and even a modern-day contextual graphic of a pizza in the middle of the road and a pizza on a plate, and how the context of the pizza makes a difference. I thought that was really creative. But there were folks who used bubbles that point to other bubbles, and that was awesome. But I was not looking for a classic table or other things. And so these are two good examples that I found. Well, you created, I read. Finally, there was a discussion post for this week's discussion. Consider how you have read, studied, and are taught the historical books. And as with all of our assignments, I wanted discussion on your prior understanding, I wanted the use of biblical support to illustrate your conclusions, the use of academic citations and quotes that support your thesis, both from the reading and outside research. I wanted engagement with how to interpret the historical books and its difficulties, and I wanted personal reflection. And so if you were deducted for any of these areas, easy fix, spend a little bit more time, work those ideas into your discussion posts and your papers, and you'll do great. On whole, folks did a good job. I think there's always room for improvement. I think on the discussion posts, I made some comments, and I had made a video before the class started. I am looking for more on your discussion posts than just a comment that you make over a 15-minute period on 5 different other texts. I am looking for ongoing engagement in discussion, and I will count off if folks are not revisiting those discussion comments and dialogues over the course of the weekend. A couple other last thoughts. Grammar, this is a master's level course, and I am looking for proper English. I am looking for proper sentence structure, and so I want you to use appropriate grammar in all of your papers. I am also looking for citations on anything that you quote, allude to, or reference. We're using Turabian in the master's program. I don't count off if you use a different citation method, but that's the one we're supposed to be using. And I do count off if folks do not use proper Turabian format, or at least the proper format for whatever system you're using, and do not cite when you should cite. I didn't count off a lot this time, but I will, in week 2, count off quite a bit if you allude to a text and don't have citations, or if you're not engaging with the material and including citations. So those are kind of the key pivot points that I grade around. I think we had a good start to the semester. On whole, grades were very solid. As always, email or call me if you have questions. I look forward to a great week, and have a blessed day.